Hi, I'm Mike Messier. Welcome to Short Film Showcase, where we feature the very best short films and the filmmakers from the New England region and across the world. On this episode, we have two very special in-studio guests. Right now, I'd like to introduce our first guest, Jennifer Grossman.
How are you?
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Now, let's first of all mention your production company name. It's 7 Times Productions.
Correct.
And you really like the number 7, is that correct?
It follows me wherever I go. I sort of can't escape it, so just seemed only right.
That's great.
Yeah.
And I think today we're on the 52nd episode of Short Film Showcase,
So,
which would be...
5 + 2 is 7.
There you go.
Here we go.
That's great. So Jennifer, let's talk about your piece. We're right in the middle of pre-production for Unconditional.
Correct.
And you've got one of your actresses, Anna Rizzo, was on the Short Film Showcase before.
Nice.
And the other actress is Laura
Minadio.
Yeah. So when we talk about the whole process of Unconditional, you were talking to me off screen before, and you said that this is like 11 years in the making when you first had the idea for the piece.
It is. I wrote it 11 years ago. Kind of spent some time with it, but didn't know that much about filmmaking. I knew that I could see it on screen, and it was, sort of the dream to get it made, but put it away for a little bit. Had to do a few things, health-wise, get some surgeries out of the way, and then started to, my love of filmmaking and the passion of creating and collaborating and just being a part of this. I put myself as best I could in, on any film set or, just part of the film world and tried to learn as much as I could and take that with me. And then after, about 4 48-hour film projects and an arthritis video or trailer for the Arthritis Foundation, I said, you know what, let's maybe pull it back out and revisit it. And excuse me, so now I'm just going full speed ahead with it.
That's great.
So, yeah.
So you did a little side voyage into this arthritis video. Do you want to talk about that for a moment?
There was, this past May, every year they do a walk to cure arthritis, which is a condition I'm afflicted with. And I figured, again, why not take, the world of, one part of my world, which is the love of filmmaking and, living with this disease, and why not join the two together? So, a couple friends of mine, we directed, produced, shot, the whole gamut, and put the video together, and just kind of like an incentive, just put it out there in conjunction with the walk that was taking place, and just put it out there and got a lot of really great reception from it.
And that's got to feel good because,
yeah,
when you can use the power, like you just said, of one of your passions for life, which is filmmaking, and something that affects you and others, many others, arthritis, and put them together and really help people and open up some eyes.
Yeah.
That's got to feel good.
It felt really good. It felt just, like you said, exactly, just bringing, there's no reason why the two worlds can't be part of one.
Right.
And just to know that, just because you suffer from anything, or live with, any sort of condition, visible or not, you can still be a part of what you love and do what you love and still bring it to life. And I think that's, another part of the inspiration for me, where I get it from, the drive to keep going and keep creating and things like that. So, yeah.
That's tremendous.
Yeah, thank you.
Maybe there could it'd be a feature film about arthritis, someone character who has it.
Yeah.
And is that something you've thought about? Maybe
I have. I've thought about it. I don't know if I'm ready to go down that road just yet, but I think that there's possibilities are endless with something like that. Absolutely.
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Something to keep in mind.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Unconditional again.
Okay. All right.
Soup to nuts. How did Unconditional come to mind?
Well, the basic gist of Unconditional is that there's 2 women very, very much in love and involved with one another, and one of the characters is dealing with a chronic condition and also some inner demons, and she's at a crossroads of a decision, and her partner is ready to fully support her no matter what. It's kind of, my UPM and I were talking about it, and it's almost like that, not I love you, but it's the I love you
Right.
and I think that that's kind of a great thought with the whole basic premise of it. I guess the immediate thing would be, okay, let's start, holding auditions and thinking about casting and things like that. So I was introduced to Tony at the Brooklyn Coffee House.
Yeah,
and
Tony Demings.
yeah.
He's been a guest here too.
Excellent. It's a big family.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
So we held the call there and got some great response, and just saw something in Anna and Laura both, and we just went with it. I cast them, and we've done a few rehearsals, talked about it at length, in depth about the characters and thoughts, and they've really just spent some time on it. And I'm really happy with how they're approaching it, attacking it, all that. And we did some location scouting, and Jay's been, really tremendous.
Jay Walker.
Jay Walker
Yep.
helping me with that. And from every aspect, just the people I've, come in contact with or surrounded myself with have just been so super supportive, and that's extremely important in any regard, in any aspect of your life, just to have that positivity, just to have that, I believe in you, or you believe in it, so let's just keep going. Let's do what we can to make it work. So, we did some location scouting, and now we're heading into it next weekend, or this weekend, I guess.
That's going to be exciting.
Yeah, I'm excited. It's like a kid in a candy store.
Right.
I love this part. I love every part of it. I just want to keep going with all of it.
That's great, Jennifer. It's like the clock is ticking, tick.
Yeah.
And pretty soon.
There is that, yeah.
We're taping today on a Tuesday, and pretty soon it'll
Saturday, yeah.
be Saturday, and you'll be ready to shoot. Now, here's an interesting question, I think. Sometimes people, on the outside in, this process of filmmaking, look at it and say, well, you've got some great actors. How did you choose the actors, Anna and Laura? But more importantly, or also as importantly, how do you know, as the writer, director, producer, that this actress is for this character and this actress is for this character? You see what I'm saying?
It's a good question. So I think it's always a learning process, and I think you're always, making decisions even in the moment. There was something about, for me, it was just the way they read, each part. And ironically, they read. I saw something in how do I say, when Anna read I had him read for both Hope and Amy.
Okay.
Those are the two character names, and Anna read something. I saw something interesting in the way she had read for Amy, but I thought, as a director and as a challenge, I said, I think I can work. There's something there, and I want to try and put her as Hope.
Right.
And really pull something out of her.
Yes.
And almost the same with Laura. She read. I saw something in Hope, but I said, you know what? I want to switch it up. I want to change, flip the script a little bit. And so there was just. There was an emotion, or there was their facial expression, or just something that I didn't even see. I was just writing the words down, and they took a chance. And that's a testament to a good actor.
Yes.
They tried something different, and it made me look, in a different light. I was like, whoa, there's something let's just go with this. Something feels right. Whether you can pinpoint it or not. There's just, again, in being present in that moment, something felt right about that word or that shoulder move, or just something. And I said, you know what, we're going to go with it, and let's just do it, and let's see what happens.
That's fantastic.
So it's a bit too of just trusting yourself, which is scary and rewarding at the same time, but just do it, just go with it.
The instincts of a filmmaker.
Yeah.
How did you get inspired to be involved in the film? Was there any moment, like an aha moment?
Moment. Well, I think, gosh, I've always wanted to be creative. I've always wanted to inspire others. I remember just, watching some really, really good movies, even like Close Encounters of the Third Kind when I was a kid, like just mashed potatoes, really?
Right.
But just, there's just, to be in the company of people and move them or evoke emotion. I've always said that I don't, as long as you feel something, whether it's happy or sad, if you come out of my film and you're like, that was, I don't get why the character did that, and I would never do that, and then never talk about it again, I think I did my job, because I just, I got you feeling or thinking something.
Right.
So I've always wanted to create. I've always wanted to have that sort of impact on somebody else. You know, the goosebumps that I get.
Yes.
You know, watching somebody, or you know, I want to do that for somebody else. And so I don't know there was necessarily like an aha moment, but it was just always knowing that I had something to offer to somebody. You know, whether it just be an ear to listen to, you know, their story, just being around people and being involved in the creative process. That was always something that I wanted to, you know, keep going with. I wanted to do something involved in that. First, it was writing. You know, I always wanted, you know, it was with words. And then, like I said, I just, you know, when I 11 years ago sat down to write Unconditional, I wrote it, but I mean, I could see it. Like I could see it all happening before me. So I think it just was sort of some way in an evolution, so to speak, if that makes any sense.
A growing manifestation of creative empowerment. I just came to mind as you were talking.
I like that. That's pretty
I have to
exactly.
write that down.
Yeah, write it down before you forget it.
Yeah,
So it's
well, we got it on
growing
tape.
manifestation. Yeah.
Growing
yeah, we can always go back to it.
manifestation of creative empowerment.
Yeah.
Well, because it is empowerment, because a lot of folks in life are so hindered by anything and everything.
It's true.
You know, people can sit home and watch lacrosse on TV or whatever, because I saw a lacrosse commercial today. But if they sit home, nothing wrong with lacrosse.
No, it used to be one of my favorite sports.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I just saw something that the Mohegan Sun has a team now. I don't know
Yeah.
if you knew that. So, but you can stay home and do stuff or watch cartoons or whatever. But eventually, it's so empowering to do your own thing.
Yeah.
And to add to the canon of culture.
Yeah.
For anywhere from Shakespeare to Ren and Stimpy, you know, and all points in
true.
between, for yourself, myself, to add to the entertainment choices that people have. And not just entertainment, that sounds a little frivolous, but educational,
Sure.
informative, enlightening,
Yeah.
all those good E-sounding words.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's talk about this. So now you've got the story, and we kind of skipped over the script. What was it like for you to write the script?
So the script, I think I wrote it in I sat down and wrote it over the course of a week, 10 days, and I
Okay.
just, you know, it was the idea. And I just, you know, I kept seeing the idea, and I, you know, just tried my best to, you know, flesh it out, and it was tough at times to sit there and, you know, be at a crossroads and think about what does a character do? How do they, you know, go through these moments, you know, trying to, a little bit of, you know, reality, a little bit of fantasy, you know, and they say write what you know. So I think there's a little bit of me and Hope, or Hope and me, and even Amy too. So it's interesting when you sit down and you know, you're trying to again flesh out these characters, flesh out the script. It can be nerve-wracking at times,
Yes.
you know, and you know you want them to say the right thing, but you know sometimes the right thing isn't always, you know, what people want to hear, or what is the right thing. You know, my right and your right are two very different, you know, perceptions. So it was frustrating at times, but cathartic in a way
Yes.
too. So it wasn't that long of a writing process for me. But although, again, it's all relative. And you know, I spent every day just kind of looking at each page and, you know, making sure I was doing the characters justice. I was doing the story justice. And it felt right. And, you know, upon completion of it, and then, like I said, I just kind of put it away for a little bit.
Right.
And now, you know, now that we're revisiting and going into it, you know, it's up to the actors, the girls, and I think they're trying great things. They're trying things I never would have,
Right.
you know, even thought of, and everything just feels right. So it's good.
Is it a primarily or exclusive to actor piece?
Yes.
Okay.
It
okay.
is. So it's just the two. It's just Hope and Amy.
Right.
And you know, we've got. It's really just it's their world. We're inside their world, and it's pretty exclusive to them.
Now, for the folks that don't know, and like I said, that we try to reach out to people outside
Sure.
the film community who want to be involved. So you've got your script, and now you've cast.
Mm-hmm.
What's next? What came for you after that?
So after that, we held a couple of rehearsals.
Okay.
And we did you know, even more location scouting. We had some things already secured, but you know, I wanted to showcase the beautiful beautiful state we live in, and
Yes.
and you know, these two characters are, it's very very outdoorsy, even though it's, you know, very difficult. But I think that that also shows, you know, some of the, you know, struggle of, you know, somebody dealing with, you know, some sort of limitation.
Right.
So we, you know, checked out a couple places, and it seems to work out beautifully. So we, from here now, we'll shoot on Saturday and Sunday all across, you know, interiors and exteriors. From there, I'm putting myself through an intensive 5-day editing course, because
wow.
I'd like to cut it myself as well.
Good for you.
So from there, you know, we'll, I think it's probably only gonna be about 4 days of shooting. I think we'll be pretty much all set after that, and so then I'll try and cut it.
Yep. You will cut it.
I will cut it, and I will do some. Have a friend of mine help score it,
Nice.
and then I will put it into the festival circuit.
Nice.
So that's the goal.
The itinerary.
The itinerary, yeah, that's the plan.
And where are you taking the editing course, if I can ask?
Sure. So I'm actually going out to Orlando,
Oh, wow.
Florida. I'm going to do an intensive, somebody that works with the software I work with.
Okay.
And I'm just going to, you know, no distractions, just hardcore focus on editing and immersing myself in that world.
Is that with a private instructor?
Private,
or?
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
interesting, because I know
Yeah.
they have a good film school there as well.
Yes, I believe he has taught there as well.
The Full Sail.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
right, okay.
So yeah.
That's great, so you're
Yeah,
just going for it broke. This
I'm
is
just,
great.
you know what, you spend a lot of your time thinking about the what ifs, and
Right.
now I'm at a point where physically, finally, you know, for the time being, I feel really good.
Yes.
And I'm doing things that I never thought I would do or could do. And so now it's, you know what, go big or go home.
Yeah.
And I just, again, it comes back to it, just everything feels right. So let's just do it. Like, you know what, why not? Why
That's
not?
great.
Let's have at it.
I think Unconditional is going to be a fantastic piece. And
Thank you.
what's your estimated length time, run time?
About 10 minutes.
10 minutes, okay,
About 10
good.
minutes here. We're looking at a total runtime of 10, somewhere in and around there. Subject
Nice.
to change, but
Card subject to change.
yeah, exactly. But give or take.
And that's the freedom with a short film, or any film, especially with a short though, because you can, hey, you know, we went on location and then there was this beautiful shot we didn't even have in our, you know, our shot list, and we took a shot, or we punched up a little dialogue, or, you know, or maybe in the editing you take something out, or.
So it's ironic that you bring that up, because that's exactly, we were checking out a couple different exteriors.
Okay.
And, you know, my legs were starting to, you know, I'd been walking for a certain amount of time that's, you know,
Right.
where it starts to, you know, kind of break down a little bit. And I had said to Jay, I said, I think we pack it in. I think we've got, you know, I see the scene that we were looking for. I said, I see it over there. And,
Yep.
I think it's beautiful, and I know it's going to work. That's what I want, that one. He said, all right, maybe we should just keep walking. You never know. And I said, all right. So I, you know, just kind of grinned and bared it, and I was like,
Right.
let's just do it. And we just kept walking. We kept walking. And you know, I'm not going to give anything. You stay tuned. But we just came upon this area, like, where it was just, it's, I can't even describe it, but just a whole other scene
Yes.
unfolded in my mind. And it will still continue to serve the story, but just even to a whole nother dimension, or at a whole nother length. And it's, you know, we're going to go with it, because it's too beautiful and it's too right not to include it or not to make it happen. So it's 10 minutes, maybe 10 and a half or 11 and a
Yeah.
half. But yeah, no, it's because you just never would have thought. And I was ready to just kind of, you know, say, all right, not feeling too well, let's go. And you push yourself just a little bit, just the extra, within reason. But if I hadn't taken, you know, a couple extra steps, I never would have saw that area. And that
Right.
was breathtaking. And again, like I said, just too great not to make it a part of it.
And that's a good lesson in there, because it speaks on many levels. A, pushing yourself just a little bit more. B, the power of collaboration, and being open-minded. You know, like you had an open mind
Yeah.
to check out this new area, and then suddenly, I bet in a matter of moments, if not seconds, just this new scene unfolded to you, new
Yeah.
bits of dialogue and that type of thing.
And it's, like you said, collaboration. It's a testament to even, you know, just being around, you know, the good people and the collaborative process. You know, if Jay hadn't said, take another couple steps, check this out.
Right.
Then so it's, if it wasn't for him, if I would have packed up and gone, and, it would have just been that one moment. And now you never know what's around the corner. The
Yes.
possibilities are so totally endless. Like, it's just.
Don't quit before the miracle happens.
Exactly. Just keep going, keep going.
Yeah.
There's more, I promise you.
And with life in general, as well as filmmaking, you just don't know, because, I mean, we were talking off camera before about projects that seem to be stalled, and then suddenly something happens and they're more energized than ever before.
Right.
It's just an interesting business.
Yeah, it's a rejuvenation.
Right, rejuvenation, reboot, and things will keep going,
Yeah.
as long as you don't quit. And
Yeah.
that's what I was thinking about myself the other day. Some of the people in the film market in this area have just stuck with it.
Yeah, just keep going.
Just keep going.
I usually always say, like, making a post, or either like a tweet or what a hashtag keep going, hashtag push
Right.
forward. Those are my go-tos. You never know.
Yeah. Let's talk about your website a little bit. What can people expect
Sure.
to find? Spell out the website for us.
Sure. So it's 7 Times Productions is the company, and it's www.7productions.com.
Okay.
And it's basically there's a little bit about me, the homepage, and some backstory on me, and my life, and who I am, and just loving to be part of the collaboration and the creative process, and I'm always wanting to learn new things. Always, I always have questions. I always want to pick your brain. So
Yeah.
there's a little that. I've got a section where you can see some of the 48s that I took part in.
Yep.
You can see the arthritis video. And then also there's a contact page, but then some upcoming projects. So I talk about Unconditional, and then a couple of things that are sort of still in conceptual phase. I'm thinking about there's a story called Taboo that
Okay.
I've been messing around with. It's just in the first draft process, and so just a little even more about me, more about the company, more about the projects. So, and a way to get in touch with me too.
Good. Now, so let's go back. We're jumping around a little
Yeah,
bit.
no,
at this point.
that's what that's how I work all the time. So
Good.
I'm here, and then I'm there, and then I'm asking you something from 5 hours ago. Yeah, no, it works that way.
For the newbie person who wants to get started with screenwriting, and they always say, I want to write something, and then you're like, all right, what do you use a certain program, software program for screenwriting yourself?
I actually I use Microsoft. I just
Really?
use the template, and I just as an idea,
Okay.
I start writing, and I just write. Usually, I'm actually pen and paper.
Really?
That's the it's as tough as it is. It's the nostalgic aspect of it, the romantic aspect of it.
Yeah.
And this back then we didn't have. I'm sort of a an oldie but goodie, I guess. But so I write everything out, and then
Okay.
I just throw it on the computer, and then I'll look for like a template
Right.
and just do that. But I haven't. I don't know if that's like a faux pas.
You know what? Whatever works.
Yeah, no, I just try not to get bogged down in the beginning with the technicalities of it,
Sure.
or the format of it.
Yeah.
Again, probably not good to say, but I just if it hits me,
Yeah.
I don't want to worry about that, because then
Okay.
you're already limiting yourself. You're already editing, and I've had a problem with that, like just kind of editing myself before I even start, and I
Yes.
don't want to do that. So I just, if the idea sparks,
Yeah.
if something happens, so I just get right to like that little notebook or whatever, and I start writing it out, and then once I flesh that out, then I'll type it out so it's a little bit cleaner and not so chicken scratchy, and then from there, like I said, I just look for a template and just go from there.
You know what? That's great, because I get hung up on using a certain software for screenwriting, but I can see what you're saying, because if you are doing longhand, then there's a totally different mindset
Yeah.
of doing longhand on paper than of typing. And also, what you said makes sense to me, because you do, or I do, when I'm using the screenwriting software, sometimes you're predicting there's going to be certain adjustments, with spell check or whatever, you know what I mean? So
Right. And then the second you get caught up in that,
Yeah.
it's taken away from the moment that you're creating, and I don't want to do that. So
Okay.
I'll worry about the formalities of it later.
Okay. We have a couple minutes left.
Yeah.
So what would you, I'm going to ask you first, what would you like to say to anybody out there who wants to get involved in filmmaking, watching our show and our conversation? What would you say to inspire them or kind of lead them in the right path?
So I think just trust yourself. Just You know, if you have a thought, an idea, just go with it at first, and then just, you know, just ask questions. Don't be afraid. I think for the longest time I was so nervous.
Yeah.
And ironically, I was reading this book, like this you know, like this how-to, or the, you know, the guerrilla filmmaker's guide, or something like that. And, you know, one thing it said, you know, here's some things you can do, and it said ask a local filmmaker
Yeah.
out for a cup of coffee. You know, offer to buy them a cup of coffee, and just for an hour, pick their brain, ask them as many questions, just anything. So I did that. Again, I never would have thought of doing something like that. I did that, and I you know, looked at the local, you know, the Facebook, the media, this, that, whatever, and Brian Casey.
Our buddy, our producer, yeah.
Ironically, and I didn't even know, you know, I saw that he was just posting a lot of stuff about, you know, a lot of his projects and things he was doing, and I randomly private messaged him, and I said, hey, I'm a local independent filmmaker. I've got all these ideas. I've got all these questions. Could I trouble you for a cup of coffee? And he's helping out with Unconditional. He's, you know, call me up to see if I want. I mean, it's just you just never know.
Right.
So just no dream is too big. No, you know, no thought is too small. Like just do it. Whatever you're thinking, just go out there and put yourself out there. And as scary as it can be, it can be so totally rewarding, right? In its very moment. So just don't question yourself. Don't edit yourself. Just get out there and do anything that you possibly can. Anything that you want to, you can.
That's great. We you know what? We said it was going to be a 27-minute interview, and we've gone through it like it was 2 minutes.
Oh, gosh.
We had a lot to say, right?
Thank you. Yeah, this is great.
I think it was awesome.
It was awesome, yeah.
Jennifer Grossman, thank you so much.
Mike, thank you so much. Thank you, guys.
Unconditional coming soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back with our next guest on the Short Film Showcase. Stay tuned. Let's meet our next guest. It's web series producer and filmmaker Seth Chitwood. Seth,
Hey.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Seth Chitwood, you've done a lot of web series, and I'm very happy to have been involved in one of them. Let's talk about that one first. In the Bedroom.
In the bedroom, yes.
And this was very ambitious because
Very ambitious.
yes, you pulled it off.
I did, yes. I don't know how, but it happened.
Tell us about In the Bedroom web series. What provoked you? What started you on this course?
You know, I always wanted to do some sort of project that, you know, I'd met a lot of filmmakers at all these networking. I met you, I met Brian, I met like Chris Esper, I met all these people, and I kept saying, oh, we got to do something together. That would always be like, we'd always like have a conversation, like, oh, we should get together and work on a project, and then that would never happen.
Right.
And I just thought, you know, let's do something that's like a collaborative. You know, a lot of, doing so many web series, I try and do different kinds of web series, you know, the long form, the short form. And something that was very popular lately has been the Anthology web series.
Okay.
And which is kind of those standalone episodes, and they don't really have a story, and they're all kind of different kind of scenarios. And I had this really cool idea about, you know, we really don't know what happens behind, you know, bedroom doors. And I wanted to do this kind of story that featured two people and their different stories behind or in the bedroom.
Right.
And I really wanted to also put a spin on it that was all created by different, you know, writers and directors from the New England area. We kind of called it the New England Film Collaborative kind of area for web series. And yeah, recruited you and recruited a bunch of people, made a board, and thought that it would be an easy, you know, experience. But I mean, it was for a good part, good set of people. But
Yeah.
you know, yeah, we had like 26 actors. We had 10 board members. I think we had like between directors and writers that were different. We had like another 12, 13, and yeah, it was like 60 people working on this project. And
You pulled it off.
I pulled it off. I had to check myself into a mental hospital. No, I didn't. Yeah, almost. No.
Was I the one that warned you? Or of a
I think you were like, good luck with this. Yeah. Yeah, we'll see what happens. I was like, oh, I know what I'm doing, Mike. Bam.
You pulled it off. I was very
did.
impressed because, and in any business, I mean, it could be 40 golf house putters or something, but it could be 40 pizza makers. You're going to have egos.
Yeah.
You're going to have conflicting personalities. You're going to have people with agendas, and et cetera, et cetera. And you know, that's going to happen with anything. But to pull off 13 really tight stories.
Yeah.
what goes on behind the bedroom in the doors, or behind the doors of the bedroom.
bedroom, yeah.
Then that's exciting. You know,
Yeah.
and I think it's really cool that you pulled it out. I'll give you a lot of credit.
Yeah, with everything, everyone's always saying, like, how did you do it? And I'm like, I don't know, I just woke up and I tried really hard. I mean, of course, when you're driving, you want to take the bumpy road. You don't want to be on the nice paved road. Yeah, it was an experience, but I got to the finish line and I'm happy with it. So.
And now that everybody drove you nuts, and with this piece, now the first thing they say is, when are we going to do another season?
Everyone's coming up to me like, are we going to do another season? Are we going to do another season? I'm like, all right, yeah, we'll get on that one. I can't wait. And let me know when you want to do that. Yeah, change my address, my phone number.
Right.
I don't know. We'll see. I know a lot of people, like, especially the writers, that are like, oh, I want to do another season.
Right.
And I was like, you have to medicate me on that one. But no, we'll see what happens. I don't know.
And what the cool thing within the bedroom is well, a lot of cool things. First of all, it got finished.
Yeah.
And people can see it right there on YouTube and on your personal websites. Name your website.
It's
people.
angelwoodpictures.com.
Yep. Okay, great. So people can go there, and not only can they see in the bedroom, they can talk about your other pieces like lungs and family problems. Before we jump into those, as a guy who's on the cusp like yourself and on the edge of great things here, tell us about how the web series empowers you as a producer.
You know, one of my big mottos, I would say, is that, you got to go out there and do something. You can't just sit at home and think about wanting to be a filmmaker, think about being a writer. You have to go there and do it.
Right.
And that's what makes you better. Like, I look at my episodes that I did like a year ago, and they're so much better now, and they just increase episode by episode because you just learn from your mistakes, and you know what not to do and what to do. And that's just been the best thing about doing these web series, just putting out content, being able to write, have a great group of actors that I've been working with, and being able to put stuff out there. That's been one of the great stuff. But that's what I want to do. I want to write for television. I'm hoping that a few years down the line, that's what I'll be doing. And I think the web series was the best domain to do that in, because it's, of course, this serial drama, and it's episodic, and that's something that I want to be doing for the rest of my life.
And how?
But a writer, just writing. I don't want to deal with anybody, but I just want my keyboard and no actors, and yeah. But
Do you, I mean, because I have moments, a lot of moments when I feel that way. Like, man, if I could just go home and type and write and have my little stories and have Quentin Tarantino hop in, or Spike Lee, or whoever, to direct the thing and produce. I mean, do you really feel that way? I'm just curious.
I think in this level and in the indie Boston area, if you just wanted to purely write, you wouldn't get anything done.
Correct.
Because it's all very independent. It's a one-man band. I always say I'm a one-man band. It's funny, I saw someone in the subway doing a one-man band, and everyone's like, oh, look at that one-man band. I'm like, that's my life right there. That's me playing all the different instruments at the same time.
A little cup, fund my movie,
Yeah,
please.
unfortunately, you have to do that because it's really hard to find.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can grab some people, and I've seen some people being able to collaborate with some really great producers and directors and filmmakers, and I'm power to you. I feel like for me, maybe that's just who I am. I just touched the mic. I just screwed that up.
That's all right.
Was that I'm just I have to kind of do it all my way and get it done. That's the best way to do it. If you want to get it done, do it yourself. But that's I feel like other people should collaborate. Collaboration's good, but me, I like to do it myself. But yeah, you to make stuff get done, you have to kind of do it.
Yeah, because what I heard a long time ago from one of the screenwriting books I was reading at the time, or somewhere it said like this one screenwriter had 20 scripts, 20 scripts that he was very proud that he wrote, and that's an accomplishment to have 20 scripts, but none of them had been made into films because he was sending them to Hollywood, sending them to Orion Pictures or whatever, and getting those rejection letters, or having agents. And so it did occur to me as well as you really have to do it yourself, because to just be a screenwriter, you're not going to get your movie made. You have to say, I'm a director now, I'm a producer.
I think it's you have to improve. You have to have room to improve. You could have 20 scripts and they could stink.
Right.
Who knows? And of course, I put stuff out there that I've written, and either people have had positive feedback, negative. I mean, I've grown as a writer because I've been able to put stuff out there. If I had just wrote a bunch of stuff and submitted and didn't really know if it was going to take well with audience. It's like just recently we decided to release the whole third season of Lungs, which is great. We did the whole season out there for everyone to see at one night premiere. And I won't say any spoilers, but in the finale, well, the part one of the finale, we had a death occur on the show. It was a very emotional scene. And all the comments I've been getting back is, oh my God, I was crying, I was emotional. And I'm going, oh, yes, great, fantastic. I did what I had to do. So I know that
Right.
I can write, I achieved that. I made somebody cry. Yes, that's what we dream as writers, is to make people cry
Right.
or mix with people's emotions is a
Evoke
better
emotion,
idea.
sure.
So I think that from this level, I've always taken all the stuff that I do as an experience, especially in this indie New England kind of area. All the stuff that I do has been kind of building me for that next level. And I've been trying to get stuff done because I myself am going to try and head to the next possible place. Looking at New York, looking at LA, I'm writing a pilot right now for a possible pitch to series like NBC or something like that. But I knew for me at this level, if I wanted to improve, I wanted to learn and just become a better writer, which is what I want to do the rest of my life. I had to, do all of these shows and stuff. But I'm hoping at the next level, NBC will be like, we'll give you X amount of money to write for us, and we'll take care of everything else. And you can read about all the gossip in
Right.
that tabloid. Oh, that's happening on my set right now. Well, thank
Oh,
God I just
geez.
have my computer right now.
Rose
Like,
McGowan
good luck
said
to
what?
them. Oh yeah, showing up drunk on set. Oh, good for you. Yeah, but who knows?
It's tough because I like the way you're thinking, because you do see yourself moving on, as you call it, the next level, which is great, because having the talent to do that, why not? Why not do it? And really, it's such a tough business, but I mean, you have to persevere. And you come from a family of entertainers, is that correct?
Well, my parents were writers. They were journalists.
yeah.
And they wrote for entertainment magazines as well. They did a lot of the celebrity kind of entertainment. And that actually is how I started really off, was we would get all these television pilots sent to us, all slew from the ones that are going to be on for years, the ones that were going to get canceled after 4 episodes. And I would watch them all, and I would learn what not to do. And then, of course, when I started doing my web series, I had to force my parents to sit down and watch every single episode and tell me what I did right or wrong. And I've now gotten to a point that if my father doesn't like it, I don't have to be like, oh, and go cry. I don't need his approval. But back then, I needed my parents to tell me if it was good or not, or if I was going in a good direction with a character arc or a story. So they have really been helpful, because they know they've done it for 20, 25 years. And that was exactly what started me off.
The psychological levels of this situation, it impresses me, because not only is it to have, and every kid has their parents that they're looking to get that, approval, or for the most part. So to show your parents your work, first of all, is very gutsy, very brave. And then when your parents are critics,
Yeah.
not all parents are critics to some extent, but your parents are professional critics.
Yeah.
You really, I commend you for doing that, because you're basically saying, hey, he on a personal level and professional level, I'm going to put my work on the screen, let these people watch it, and then see what happens,
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, I still fight with my parents when my dad is like, oh, I really don't like this episode. I'm like, well, you have no idea what you're talking about. But, it's great to have this really constructive feedback, because, of course, they know it. It's not like Mom, who's never watched a TV show and is like, I was like, oh, that was a weird, plot line. But at least she knows, because she's, educated in that field.
Right.
So, that's been helping me a lot. I realized that by the end of next week, I'll have done 161 web episodes that have come out in the last 3.5 years, which is really great. But I was telling my parents that, and my mom and my dad actually too was like, so you mean we've sat through 161 episodes of stuff you've done? That's like a whole day's worth of footage. I was like,
You're not getting anything for Christmas.
yeah, it's like, oh, you owe us so much. My mom's just like, get me a Porsche when you're famous, and that's all that matters. So, yeah.
Nice. Now, there was some convention or some award ceremony, I believe, that you went to for one of your web series.
Yeah, we go to the LA Web Festival every year. I've gone. We've been in the last 3 years. I've won. I can't remember. It's I think I've won out of the last 3 years 10 awards myself, as far as writing. This past year, Family Problems and Lungs were both in the festival. They both won 4 awards. Both of them won 4 awards, which was great, because there was no competition between the two of them. I'm like, you both won 4. You're good actors. And I won an award, which was really great. They give out an award for best concept.
Yes.
And they gave it for Lungs. And the head of the festival was talking about how he gives it out to a few web series that he thinks had a really good concept, but maybe didn't execute it well.
Right.
And so he gives me the best concept award, and I'm like, Wow, that's great. And then, like, then we won Best Writing. So that was really cool. He said you had a great concept and you executed well.
Oh, that's
Whereas
nice.
instead of him saying, great concept, wish you could have executed well. To get both of those awards was really nice, and we were really happy. And then a bunch of our actors won, which in the last 3 years that we've gone, we've never won acting awards, and we're so happy this year. Ellen Levinson won for Lungs.
that's great.
We also, Vicki Lynch for Family Problems won. Teresa Chieson won. So yeah, we've been very lucky and fortunate. We're very happy.
Talk about working with actors, because actors, I've always said,
Thanks for the interview, Mike. Yeah.
but actors are the most vulnerable people on the set, and like you're expressing, sometimes they can be a bit dramatic, which is their job.
Yeah.
But sometimes
On and off the set.
on and off, you can be vulnerable. So how do you work with actors?
First I get drunk, and then no. Drinking afterwards and before is good. I'll tell you, I take therapy every week, and all I do is talk about these actors to my therapist. My therapist's like, do you want to talk about yourself? No, what, me, myself? Why would I need to talk about
You
myself?
go to your therapist's office, and she's got all the headshots on the
Yeah.
wall of your
And then, of course, and then my mom is like, wait, therapy is to talk about your actors and not you? What? What are we paying this guy for? No, kidding aside, I work with some awesome actors in
Right.
all of my shows. But, I think when you're working with them for a long time, like, web series are very different from films and short films. Like, was that Jennifer who was just down
Yes.
here? Like, she says she's going to do a few days with them for a 10-minute short. It was great. But when you're working, like, on a web series where, for example, Wendy Hartman, for example.
Right.
We're doing our 4th season right now. We're just about to wrap up. I mean, she started in this project, like, almost 2 years ago.
Yes.
I mean, she's probably done a total of, like, 70 days of filming. Now, I'm not now going to have a segue to she's a terrible woman and I hate her so much, she's a diva. No, she's actually really great to work with. I love her a lot.
Right.
Probably one of the more easier ones.
She's been on the show. She's
But
great.
when you're
yeah.
working with someone that long,
Right.
you start to be like, after a while, you're like, oh, if they say that line that way one more time, I'm going to
Right,
or
right.
you just got to really get to know them. And I think also the whole line of professionalism kind of blurs and it becomes a brother-sister relationship,
Yes.
and that can kind of get you into trouble. So I always keep that in mind. But you really get to know a person, and you really get to know their behaviors. And most of the time, it is don't get me wrong, I do love most of my cast members.
Right.
And there are some great cast members that allow me to vent it to them, which is
Yeah.
always great. They'll see my call come in. They'll be like, okay, do I have an hour to have Seth vent to me about the recent issue on set? Thank you, Jan Waldman. No. But, I think that comes as part of the experience. Been doing this for 3.5 years, and I've really learned how to adapt and how to really make sure that I can handle the actors. And we've only had 2 actors quit cold turkey on us.
Right.
But we've been very easy. I mean, episodic, you can just write them out and be like, oh,
Yeah.
and they got hit by a truck in this week's episode. They're dead. Yeah, goodbye. We actually, I'll tell you a really funny story
Sure.
really fast. I won't name any names in this, but I'm sure people will know who I'm talking about. But we had an actress come in to film this scene. It was 7 episodes we were filming in one day. It was this hostage scene.
Right.
And all the actors had to be in the room. And one of those actors, and she was supposed to go on to do the next season. We were in season 3, I won't say what the show was.
Sure.
And she came, and the call was a 12-hour day. And she showed up late.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, we're stuck in traffic, we're going to be late. And then I think she was 18, and her mom, but she was still one of those 18-year-olds that their mom is the one who's in charge
Sure.
of them, their younger side of 18.
Right.
And the mom's like, oh, she can't stay the full 12 hours, just so you know, telling me this 10 minutes before we're about to film, Mike.
When she's late.
Seriously.
Right.
And so I said, you know what? I'm going to, actually, I'll say Maureen Vlaco was there, wonderful
Yeah,
actress. I'm
Maureen's
sure you
great.
know her.
Yep.
And I said, Maureen, do you think you can take some of these lines? So I gave her most of the lines, and literally we had her come, and in the first scene, the hostage, the person who's holding hostage comes in, shoots the girl in the head, falls down dead, and then be pulled out of the room where the hostage was. And we're like, see you later, you're wrapped, and never worked with her again.
Wow.
But it was just what you got to do. I mean, you're like, sorry. I mean,
Ruthless.
yeah, ruthless. You're dead to me. Goodbye. Problem killed. But that's what you can kind of do and get away with episodic.
Right.
Whereas if it was a short film and someone's like, oh, I can't do the 12 hours. You're like, well,
Yeah.
goodbye
yeah.
to my film. It's going to be a little tough road, I guess. But
It's tough, and especially in situations where, you know, between you and myself, neither one of us at this point in our career have the bankroll to just throw money at problems and make them go away. And the tricky thing is, even when people do have the money to throw at problems, they don't necessarily go away either. You know, it's just more money, more problems type of thing.
Yeah.
So I just find it very interesting.
But I guess on that point, though, I work with really great. I really want to keep reiterating that because I'm not done yet with production. I really need them to know that I love my cast very much.
Jane Waldman, Marie Rolacco,
yeah, I love
Wendy.
them. I mean, Natasha, it's great. Teresa, Wendy, you know, I'm working. Karen Martina was awesome. Working with her right now in Family Problems. She's playing as a mother, a nun, and she's fantastic. I love working with her. Tony Wright is great. Ellen. I mean, there's just so many amazing. Paul Kandarian.
What makes a good actor for you, or a good actress? What, as a web series producer, director, writer, when you see an actor come in, and like we had this big audition a year ago for the In the Bedroom web series, and 40 actors come in, 40 or 50 actors come in one day, you know, for various parts, and you're scrambling your brain like, oh, this one. What makes a good actor?
Well, my favorite part about that audition was the ones who came in and knew who I was, being the creator of the show. I love the people who came in and said, oh, who are you? I'm like, you didn't even IMDb the creator of the show. My headshot's on my IMDb. Like, the creator of the show that you're auditioning for, you don't know. Right. But to the point, I think the ones that are obviously prepared, for me, you have to want to have, I guess I've been doing this for so long that you need to come in with a layer of being able to bring layers to that role. You can't just come in and say the lines. You need to be prepared. The actors that come in that don't even memorize their sides, I'm like, really? Like, are you going to take this seriously? I mean, they have to be punctual. I also really like good attitudes because I'm a very friendly person. That's what I always do in auditions. I always talk to them for like 5-10 minutes. I find out what their personality is, especially because for our web series, and you're working for 30-40 days with these other actors, some of them have high personalities, strong personalities, and you want to know if they'll fit in with the group, or else it will just kind of be hard for them and for us. So I feel like we're like a cult. I feel like we're like, are you going to be good for our personality? Like, do you have a good personality? Come join our group. One of us. No. Yeah, I really make sure that they're positive people and they're going to work hard and their schedules are open. That's the worst thing I hate. You probably have this problem as well. There are so many actors that want to audition for everything under the moon, and I love it. They'll go on like 17 auditions in 1 week. And then they'll get like 7 roles. And then some of them will take the responsibility like, okay, well, I'm only going to take that one role because that's the one I want to focus on. And they'll tell them really early. Or they'll try and do all 7. And it'll just blow up on them. And then like all the directors will get kind of really screwed. But I guess the biggest thing is, and I don't know if you saw on my Facebook, this past week, was I had a background call for Family Problems, and we had supposed to have 12 background actors, and we had 7 cancellations. Wow! And I usually don't vent on Facebook. I try really hard not to be the guy that writes all these terrible messages, but I just had to say, and it's what my biggest advice I give to any actor that just from my standpoint as a director, is that reputation is key in this industry. You don't want to have a bad reputation because once you do something that ruins your reputation, I mean, we talk. I mean, you've asked me before. I've asked you if you know people. And you're not going to lie to me or else I'll come back to you like, really, Mike? You told me that Jane Doe was an amazing actress and they didn't show up to the film set.
I met her sister, Jennifer Doe. So I met Jennifer Doe.
You're like, hide away. Like, bye, see you later. So I think reputation is key. And it's really, this was a kind of a great debate with another actress I had. Like, it was fine, not a mean debate, but she was saying that she does so many positive things, and then the one time she has to do something negative, that's the one that everyone focuses on. I'm like, but that's unfortunately the career you're a part of. It's the minute you could give $1 million to a charity and then blow somebody off for a filming day, and you'd be called the world's worst person in the world. Just that's how it works. Unfortunately, I wish it was better, but I mean, once you mess somebody up,
then you're
done.
Right. No, it's crazy because I mean, and I understand. I've made mistakes, and people have been mad at me, and then you try to rework it and build your karma points back up somehow.
But to the point about the background was what upset me the most was I later learned that they had and this was actually for like 5 of them. There was another major film that's going on this next few weeks. I'm sure you know what it is.
Right.
I won't say any names.
Sure.
But they had a huge background call too, and it was like obvious that they submitted background for different things, and then they saw what role, if they're going to be heavily featured, and they chose what worked. Joke's on them. If you had done my background, everybody got close-ups. It wasn't just like a blur in the background.
Right.
A lot of background actually they'll tell you who does Family Problems. You're very featured very much.
Yeah.
But it was very unfortunate to see this. One of the girls said, I can't make it. I'm not feeling well. And then I saw that she was on this film's background set. I was like, do you think we don't talk? Like that's the biggest thing I want to say to actors. Like, do you don't think we talk? Like, I always ask people about you. I do my research before I hire you, and so.
And there's with the social, and this is a lot of good debates because the social media. You know, I mean, someone's gonna say, I saw, Sally and Frankie on the set of blah blah blah, and they were supposed to be on your set. They canceled on you to be on this other set. And
it's happened a lot. It'll be funny. They'll be like, I happened like a few years ago. A girl was like, my grandma's really sick. I have to go, be with her because she could die.
Wow.
And then I'm like, I'm so sorry. Like, prayers for your grandmother. And then I see her in a photo on Facebook, posing on the set of like blah blah. And you're like,
right. Where's Grandma?
It's like, is Grandma okay? I guess Grandma's fine now. Yeah.
Facebook
heading to the hospital and she gets a better deal. Oh wait, never mind. I'm gonna.
Oh man. Well, let's talk about your career aspirations because you said you want to work for TV, you want to write for TV.
That's the goal. Yeah.
Is there any shows that kind of not that you would want to write your own show? I'm assuming.
Yeah, that would be great.
But are there shows that you could see yourself? Hey, if I was in the war room for XYZ show, I could really contribute. Is there any shows like that?
I'm a huge fan of Shonda Rhimes. She's like my idol. Like I want to be her when I grow up. Well, not a big, large like black lady, but I want to be her. Like what she's done in her career. Yeah. She's awesome. I mean, right now Thursdays is Shondaland on ABC. She does Grey's Anatomy, Scandal, How to Get Away with Murder. I mean, I look at How to Get Away with Murder. I'm like, oh my God, like that's the kind of stuff that I like to write. That drama with the little lawyer in court and so that would be some television show that I'd like to be a part of and I could really contribute to. I love The Blacklist right now. I like a lot of the television shows. I watch a lot. I'm a very busy person, but in my free time at like 2 a.m, I watch all these TV shows because that also is what, from coming back from when I did pilots and watched pilots and stuff, that is what I think got me educated and ready to be a writer.
It keeps you informed of the topics or of the style.
Very much, yeah.
And then it's interesting because you can follow the trends, but also make the trends. Because I mean, I was very impressed just seeing your work a couple of years ago, like web series, and that was kind of a new thing for me.
Yeah.
Just
because everyone's doing it.
Yeah, but that's how quickly things go, and maybe in 6 months from now, something will have evolved from web series.
Yeah.
We don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
We might have a brain chip in our head that just feeds
us. I wish. Yeah, I could just think it and it comes to life.
That's great. What about, are you interested in feature films at all? Does that interest you or not so much?
It's really scary. Well, I've been very fortunate to be able to write scripts actually for directors. Like they've hired me to write for them. It's really great. And I actually ran into someone just recently who wants me to do the job for them. A lot of directors or creators will be like, I have this really great idea, but I'm not really a writer. Yeah. And so I'll sit down with them. I've done this now 3 times, and they'll tell me their ideas, and I'll kind of scratch notes and whatever, and then I'll write them a screenplay. And that's been great. That's as far as I've gone on the feature side, because for some reason features really scare me. But web series, I mean, the episodes, like after a whole season, it's like a 2-hour show. I mean, we do like 15-minute episodes, so it's kind of interesting that at the end of it, you're like kind of doing a feature. But could I write a feature? Yeah. Would I want to do it? I don't know why it intimidates me so much. I get a little nervous. I don't know. I guess I could, but
you can do it.
Yeah, I just did a short film, and actually it probably is considered a feature because I think it's running about 40 minutes, but it's called The Love Triangle. Yep. And it's about this woman who she is in love with 2 different men, and she's dating them both on the side. She really loves them a lot, and then they find out about each other, but then they all decide that they're going to just make it work, the 3 of them. Right. And then one night, this masked person busts in at gunpoint, puts them all in chairs, and makes her choose which one she wants, and the one she doesn't choose, that gunman's going to kill. And so it's like a Sophie's Choice kind of
right,
thing.
right.
And it's a comedy, and it's really great, and lots of twists and turns. But that was the first time I had done like this, 40-minute long, short like feature, and it was interesting. It was fun. It was a lot of, it was a nighttime shoot. It was all one day on one room kind of thing.
Yeah.
We were on set. I think we were filming in Sagamore Beach, and I think we did 3 days on that set, and we would film from like as soon as the sun set at like 7 until like I think we like wrapped at like 5 in the morning one day. Like it was very different for me.
Yes.
But I still had a lot of fun. I can't wait for people to see it. It's kind of this new kind of thing for me.
So I can't believe it. So we just tore through this interview.
I know. We just sped through. Yeah.
Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you
and
so much
Seth
for having
Chitwood.
me. Yes.
Angelwood
Pictures.
And
yes.
that's the .com.
Yep, angelwoodpictures.com. And YouTube, you can check it out. Just search Angelwood Pictures on YouTube and you'll find everything.
Great,
Yeah.
Seth. Thank you
Great.
so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
We've had 2 great interviews on this episode of Short Film Showcase with Seth Chitwood and our first guest, Jennifer Grossman. I want to thank both of our special guests. If you're out there thinking, hey, I'd like to get involved in web series, I'd like to get involved in directing a short film, writing a short film, acting, you can do it. Remember, if you can dream it, shoot it. I'm Mike Messier for Short Film Showcase.